Hey friends, welcome back. So good to see you. Last week we read a story about Roosevelt in a magic box that he crawled into and he went to a place with dinosaurs. Well, today Roosevelt is back and he's going on an adventure on Thunder Island in his magic box. And this time he takes his little sister with him. It's going to be fun. So let's turn on our listening ears. Let's buckle up because you never know where you're going to find the letter X when you have pirates involved. X marks the spot. Roosevelt and his sister Samantha were playing on the porch after dinner, waiting for the fireworks on the 4th of July. Roosevelt stood at the edge of the porch with his brass telescope. He was looking up at the stars, trying to find the Big Dipper. Samantha was sitting inside of Roosevelt's magic box with a pirate book on her lap. Samantha was very good at reading, but she still needed a little help every now and then. Then Samantha came to a word that she couldn't quite pronounce. The pirates set sail for an Samantha tried to sound out the word. That's island, Roosevelt told her. You don't have to say the S sound. Roosevelt collapsed his telescope, put it in his back pocket, and walked over to Samantha. Would you like to read this book together? Oh, yes, please, said Samantha. She always enjoyed reading stories together with her older brother. Roosevelt sat down beside her in the magic box and pointed to the word ship on a page in Samantha's book. Is this where you left off? Suddenly, they felt the box slide across the porch. Samantha let out a cry and Roosevelt held out her hand. What happened, Samantha? Whispered quietly to Roosevelt. I'm not sure, Roosevelt answered. Looking out of the box, they didn't see their house. Instead, they found themselves on a big ship. Right away, they saw a pirate standing at the wheel with a bright red parrot on his shoulder. Maybe he can tell us where we are, Roosevelt said as he took Samantha's hand. Excuse me, sir, Roosevelt asked quietly, looking up at the pirate. Who said that? The pirate bellowed and turned to find Roosevelt and Samantha at his side. I did. I'm Roosevelt and this is my sister Samantha. Roosevelt explained and Samantha nodded her head. Who are you? I am Captain Bartholomew and you're standing on my ship, the Raven. It would seem that I've found two stowaways, the captain growled. Stowaways! Stowaways! The parrot, the pretty red parrot echoed the captain. We're not stowaways. We came here by accident in my brother's magic box, Samantha said. Magic box? The captain frowned. What's this about a magic box? It's right over there, Samantha said as she pointed to the box. By the north wind it is, the captain said as he walked over and bent down to look inside the magic box. He saw Samantha's book open to a page with a pirate, with a picture of a treasure map. The map to Thunder Island, the captain shouted. Do you see the X? Mates, turn a southern course to Thunder Island. Shiver and shake. There's a fortune to make, the captain called to his crew. fortune to make, the parrot echoed as the crew gave a loud cheer. The captain turned back to Roosevelt and Samantha. Usually it's a walk on the plank for stowaways, but you two seem to have earned your keep with this book of yours, so you'll be my guest and help me find Thunder Island where the treasure lies. Now both of you come to the galley with me and have some supper. The next morning the captain sent Roosevelt up to the crow's nest. Roosevelt used his telescope to look for Thunder Island. Soon he could see a green shape of an island on the distant horizon. "Captain Bartholomew," Roosevelt called out, "Thunder Island is straight ahead." They could see a large volcano on one end of the lush tropical island with smoke coming out of the top. The Raven weighed anchor where she was close enough to the island. Then Roosevelt, Samantha, Captain Bartholomew, and a small group of pirates rowed to shore. "We should follow a path that leads north through the trees," Samantha read from her book when they landed on the beach. Captain Bartholomew pulled out a compass and quickly found the way. The path was marked with an old and tattered pirate flag flying from a tree branch. It looked like no one had walked on the path for many years. They followed the path into the dark woods. After walking for a little while, they came to a fork in the road. They had to choose between two paths, one leading right and one leading left. "Wait," Samantha said, reading from her book. "The map says the right path is dangerous." But the pirates didn't listen to Samantha and started up the path on the right. They'd only taken a few steps when they came to the edge of a cliff hidden by the trees. The pirates in front almost fell over the edge, and one man even lost his boot. Looking over the cliff's edge, they saw a hidden inlet below with lots of hungry sharks swimming there. One of the sharks gobbled up the lost boot in an instant. "Whew, Samantha was right," the captain said. "Next time we're going to listen to her." Following down the left path led them down to the edge of an inlet. Sunken halfway into the sand on the beach was the wreck of a large ship. The seawater lapped at its sides and ran into holes in the hull. The sails had long since fallen off, and green moss and vines grew everywhere on the ship. "Mates, this is the wreck of the Destiny," the captain pointed to the old ship. "I've searched the 7 seas for many years trying to find this ship. The tales tell of her disappearing during a heavy storm many years ago. Thanks to Samantha's book, we've finally found her. The treasure we seek must be on board." They climbed onto the deck. In front of the cabin door, they found a skeleton standing guard. At that scary sight, Samantha screamed and hugged her brother. "Samantha, don't worry," said the captain. "He can't hurt you." Captain Bartholomew opened the cabin door and led them inside. The furniture was covered with cobwebs, and crabs scurried away from them on the damp floor. The captain lit a lamp that he found hanging from a beam. At the end of the galley, they found 2 large treasure chests locked inside a steel cage. Each one overflowed with gold and jewels. Suddenly the ship started to tremble, and they heard the volcano begin to rumble outside. "Ooh, that volcano sounds unhappy, mates, so we've got to move on here. But how do we get into this cage?" Roosevelt noticed a small opening between the top of the cage and the roof of the cabin. He climbed over into the bars and into the cage. The pirates cheered and quickly passed their sacks through the bars to Roosevelt. He filled them with gold and jewels, carrying as much treasure as they could carry. They all hurried back to the raven. Once they were safely on board, the raven, Roosevelt and Samantha were treated like a king and queen by the captain and his crew. The captain praised his newfound friends, especially Samantha, for bringing along her book. The pirate crew divided the treasure up amongst themselves. Then Captain Bartholomew selected 2 gifts for the treasurer. He handed a shiny gold compass to Roosevelt and a beautiful ruby ring to Samantha. These will remind you of your friends on board the Raven. Now it's off to home for you two, the captain said with a smile. As they heard the sound of the volcano in the distance, Roosevelt and Samantha climbed into the magic box. How do we get home? Samantha asked her brother. Before Roosevelt could answer her, they heard their mother calling to them. Come out and watch the fireworks. You don't want to miss all the fun, do you? After all, the 4th of July only comes once a year. Roosevelt and Samantha looked at each other and smiled. They could only imagine where their next reading adventure would take them. What'd you think of that? Find some treasure? Maybe you could make a map in your backyard and put an X and find some treasure. You never know what's hidden out there. This is kind of like the magic tree house, but it's a magic box that transports them. So crawl into your box, see where you go. Have fun. I'll see you next week.